I finished my Plasma Cyberpunk Spider lamp, and I'm going to show you the whole process today on Darth Rage Reviews.
Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force? Nah, for the Republic!
Greetings, Force fans, and welcome to another episode of Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force. Occasionally, I venture from the hallowed halls of Star Wars, and today is one of those days. Y'all, I have been working on this puzzle for probably about a month. For those of you that follow the channel, you've probably seen the many myriad of lives I've done of building this Cyberpunk Spider lamp. It's from a company called Mostarle. There's a link in the description to where you can find this exact lamp. Super, super cool. Note, this is very difficult. This is a very difficult puzzle. It took me probably approximately a month to build this over time. Very tiny pieces. It does come with a little screwdriver, a little pliers that you can, everything that you need comes in the kit. But yeah, whole lot of fun. It's kind of a cross between a model kit and maybe a Lego kit. It's kind of Lego for grown-ups, but this thing is sweet. Let's get this up here so you can really see it. So yeah, that thing is a beauty. And it's just amazing to me how they take all these little bitty tiny screws, nuts, bolts, and they turn it into ultimately what is a piece of art. Y'all know that I've done one of these in the past. I did a different version that was just a light in the back of it. And honestly, the only reason that I did this one is because of this plasma ball. I've always wanted one of these. I think that I can incorporate this into some really cool cosplay things, some Force things. But yeah, that comes with it, and you build it all. So what's the process like? Well, it's difficult. I did not record the whole thing. Tons of lives that'll kind of show you as I do it. But I did some time lapse of the process so you can kind of get an idea of what the process looks like. So let's take a look. All right, so this all comes in a nice package. And again, it comes with everything you're going to need to put this all together. There's an instruction booklet. You've got, I want to say it was 40 steps, all clearly designated. Packs of clearly labeled materials. They're all labeled by step. And then a series of, I believe it was 40 steps, all diagrammed very nicely. It kind of explains how to put it all together. And then when you get down to it, you're talking really tiny pieces, so little tiny nuts, screws, bolts, and you're just having to get it together. Some pieces are a lot easier than other pieces, but yeah, there'll be some very frustrating periods of it, as well as some things that are just a piece of cake. So here's some time lapse of the process, just so you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to be looking at. And I think this took me about a month. I probably worked on it most days, 30 minutes some days, an hour some days, 10 minutes other days. I don't really have an estimate of the total amount of time that it took to do this, but it was a while. So if you are planning on doing one of these, I would say just expect to get frustrated. Pay attention closely to the way that the nuts and the bolts are supposed to go in there, because I had several pieces that I had to go back later and switch it completely around because I'd put the screw or the nut in backwards and it wouldn't fit properly. So word of advice, make sure to check those diagrams out really, really closely. But they do a good job. There's only a couple steps that are really difficult to tell what you're supposed to do from the pictures. But all in all, a difficulty level, like if it's a 1 to 10, I'd put this at about an 8, maybe a 9. Here I am putting the spider legs together and attaching them to the base. But yeah, it's all in all, it's a relaxing experience to me. It was not too difficult. And then what you end up with afterwards is a really, really cool product. That's it. All right, so that's kind of a shorter version of what the process was like. Again, I can't stress enough, this is a difficult puzzle to do. It will frustrate you at times, but take your time and trust me, when you get this thing built, there's like a sense of accomplishment with it. So let's take some close-up looks at this bad boy and really see what we're dealing with here. This thing is honestly a piece of art made out of tiny little screws, nuts, bolts, little things like that. Hats off to the artists who created this, because honestly, this is art. This is honestly art. You can take little pieces of metal and turn them into something beautiful like this. So overall, what will I give this in a review score? So this is a fun activity. This is not going to be for everybody, I can tell you that. Some people will really enjoy this. Some people will be really frustrated by this. I'm going to give this a straight up 4 on my scale of 1 to 5. A straight up 4 because it's just so satisfying. It's the combination, it would have gotten higher, but the combination of the difficulty level juxtaposition with the satisfaction when you get this thing done. This is a solid 4. So please make sure to go check out the website, mostarle.com. There's a link, and they've got all kinds of puzzles. But there's a link to this exact one. So if you wanted something like this, you could pick this up. This is from Mostarle. This is the Cyberpunk Plasma Spider lamp. Super cool. Super cool. I'm a big fan of their products, and I look forward to doing more of these in the future. So if you like this, y'all, please click that little like button. It's on one of those sides. Give me a comment if you want. Subscribe. If you liked this, you'll like the rest of my content. I promise you. I promise you. As always, y'all, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.